Hello, my name is Thomas Esch. I'm working as an Earth observation specialist at the German Aerospace Center in Oberpfaffenhofen. When the Berlin Wall fell, I was a pupil in secondary school and actually preparing for an exam on the very next day. But when I heard the news, especially from Berlin, I actually watched TV all afternoon and early night and followed the news. As a child, I always wanted to find and discover some new species, and therefore I thought I have to go to the remote places on Earth. Actually, this wish did not really come true, but at least a little bit, since now, as a geographer by profession, I have the opportunity to watch via satellites on every remote place on the planet. The future in 2050 will definitely be urban. So according to statistics of the United Nations, about 70% of the world's population will live in cities. So of course we see that currently we have a fundamental change on Earth. Actually, we will move from a rural environment to an urban environment. Cities have always been clusters and hubs of innovation, wealth, prosperity, or also societal development. So therefore it's important that in the future we assure adequate living conditions in cities for the rising amount of urban dwellers. We analyzed a massive amount of satellite data, actually 8 million Landsat scenes, which comes up to about 600 years of uncompressed music. The effective processing of such a huge amount of data is just possible if you combine modern machine learning techniques with cloud technology. In this time-lapse animation of the Shanghai region, you can see all settlements in black and how massively they grow into the unpopulated neighborhood. With our project, we can map, visualize and also monitor the global urbanization over the last 30 decades. So with that, we can provide precise information on exactly where and how cities have grown. For the first time, we can make the urbanization process visible over the period of 30 years at a glance. We can now start answering what is a good urbanization and what is a bad urbanization. To evaluate the sustainability of urban growth, the UN uses a simple measure. They use the ratio between the settlement growth rate and the population growth rate. This plot here is a direct result from our analysis. There you can see and start comparing continents, for instance. We observe that Africa has actually been quite sustainable over the last 30 years in terms of the urbanization, because there the settlement growth rate does not exceed the population growth rate. A very bad example is actually Europe. Here we can see that we have more or less a stable population, whereas the settlement has grown steadily. Urbanization transforms societies, and our research helps to better understand this complex process. Our research helps decision makers all over the globe in realizing sustainable, livable and finally attractive and healthy cities. Apart from the technical and nerdy questions, of course I ask myself, how can we effectively treat the limited space that we have on our planet? And more important actually, how can we use the results of our research to place this question in the heads of the right people?